Hey, good morning, everybody. Happy Saturday. It is the Streets of Gold, and we are live and coming to you from Welland, Ontario. It is an exciting time as we count down days. We are less than a handful of days away, are we? No, we are a handful of days away from the 2021 NFL Draft, and it is the best time of year. I think I get as excited about the draft as I do about the Super Bowl. Well, normally because the 49ers aren't playing in the Super Bowl. We have played in 2 Super Bowls in the last 10 years, but you don't play in the Super Bowl very often. So I think that the key here is that the 49ers are going to be in the Super Bowl, so we'll have a lot to be excited about when the Super Bowl comes around. But for now, we will stay focused on the draft and all things pertaining to the draft. So right now, I'm hearing conflicting reports. I hear all kinds of stuff about Mac Jones being the guy. I hear stuff about Justin Fields being the guy. And now, of course, we're hearing things about Trey Lance being the guy. And let's be honest, we can only speculate that Zach Wilson is going to the New York Jets at number 2, but there's a very real possibility that Zach Wilson is not the pick to New York. What if New York knows, just like everybody else knows, that Justin Fields is the second-ranked quarterback coming out of college this year, and he has been number 2 to Trevor Lawrence by, some people say, a hairline over the last 4 years. A 5-star recruit, remember, a 5-star recruit out of high school. Justin Fields goes to Georgia, and he doesn't get the starting job, ends up transferring to Ohio State, takes over, and has stellar years in 2019 and 2020. And you know what? I think he's probably the most exciting prospect in the draft. I think he has a little bit of Russell Wilson in him. If you watch him play, he does bounce around well. He keeps his eyes downfield. He is looking to throw the ball before he is running the ball, and he has good deep ball accuracy. So, those are some of the traits that I see that are similar to Russell Wilson, whereas, I don't necessarily know enough about the competition that Zach Wilson played against to really say definitively that Zach Wilson is going to be a better NFL quarterback than Justin Fields. In fact, I would actually be more inclined to put my money on Justin Fields, because whoever does end up with Justin Fields, I have a feeling it's not going to be San Francisco. I think that the Niners are looking at Mac Jones and Trey Lance. I think they've narrowed it down to those 2, and I think they already know who they're going to take. My gut, again, all along has been Mac Jones. It wouldn't be my personal choice, but my gut is saying that it's going to be Mac Jones. It's going to be Mike McCorkle Jones with the 3rd overall pick, headed to the Bay Area. And I know that the fans, they're not going to be very excited. I don't know how many jerseys Mac Jones is going to sell, but once he starts winning football games, I know that he's going to become a very popular person, and I think that's what he's good at. I think he's good at winning football games. He's not the flashy guy. He's not the stats guy. He's not the guy that's going to go out and throw for 400 yards every single week, and I think he's going to be a really good game manager with a lot of upside. He's always putting the ball in the right place. He leads his receivers into the ball. He does not throw inaccurate passes. And he makes good decisions on the field. He processes, diagnoses defenses quickly, adjusts audibles, and makes the right play. And he's going to have good weapons in San Francisco to pick from, and I think that's the key. He is coming to a good team. Like I've heard a handful of people say, the best quarterback in this draft is going to be the one that the 49ers select, because let's face it, what other team in the top five or top 7 or even top 10 has the roster of the 49ers? In fact, the roster rankings came out according to PFF, and the 49ers are ranked at number 9. So we have the 9th best roster according to PFF in the entire NFL. and that's pretty good considering we're a 6-10 team. Although our 6-10 record was played with a lot of those players that PFF ranked, because they were injured for the majority of the season. So, So, I think that's going to be kind of the storyline of the draft is going to be, hey, the Niners got this quarterback, and he's going to be a stud because he's going to fit right into the system. Richie's going to make sure that he's comfortable. Mike McDaniel is going to draw up plays in the run game. The addition of Wayne Gallman is so underrated. The guy is actually a fantastic running back who's going to be great in our system because, as you know, Kyle likes using multiple backs. He doesn't deploy one. He goes with the hot hand, and when you have 3 good running backs to choose from, your chances are higher to be having somebody to get it going. So I think if Wilson's not getting it going and Mostert's not getting it going, then Gallman will be getting it going, and then obviously all taking turns and getting production. I think they're all effective. They all have different skill sets. Mostert's going to be that home run hitting running back that, if he gets the edge, there's not a lot of people in the league that are going to catch him in the open field. So, exciting weapons that we have on our roster right now. So, in saying that, let's just take a look at some of the comparisons NFL-wise. I want to do a couple quick comps to the QBs in the draft to players who are now playing. Now, I personally think that Trevor Lawrence is really hard to comp. Because of his athleticism, I'm having a hard time comping him to anybody who's currently in the NFL right now. I would say that the closest that I've seen, and I've only seen 1 year, is Justin Herbert. A guy that can rip it down the field, and a guy that can take off and beat you with his legs. I think that's the closest comp, and I don't really like comparing a player that's only been in the league for 1 year to a player that's going to be drafted right now because, there's not really a huge sample size to compare to. So that would be the closest that I could get to a current player in the league. Now moving down in my personal rankings, second would be Justin Fields, and his NFL comp to me is definitely Russell Wilson. I see a lot of the same traits. I look at them and I watch Justin play. I think Justin's a bigger, stronger, faster version of Russell Wilson, which I think is extremely scary. So that's why I think that Justin Fields is going to be extremely successful in the NFL. Could you imagine Russell Wilson was 6'3" and 230? Honestly, that's scary. That would be scary. So, moving on now, the third quarterback I have ranked is it's actually really splitting hairs between the final 3, but I'm going to go with Mac Jones. Mac Jones, simply because he played in the SEC, he played for Alabama, won the national championship. I'm going to stick with him, and I'm going to say his NFL comp to a current player right now in the NFL is Tom Brady. I see the subtle movements. I'm not talking about, remember, these comps, just to clarify, they are not comparing the player to the success of the players on the field. I'm talking about traits. I'm talking about throwing motion. I'm talking about footwork. I'm talking about pocket presence. I'm talking about some of the intangibles that you see from the quarterbacks. I'm not talking about how successful they are or their stat lines or any of that. That is not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that this guy's going to go win 7 Super Bowls. I'm saying Mac Jones, when I watch him play, I watch his poise, I watch his decision making, I watch how he moves his feet and maneuvers through the pocket. I watch him and it reminds me of Tom Brady. So that's my NFL comp for Mac Jones. So take it how it is and watch the film and tell me it doesn't look like Tom Brady to you, because to me it does. It's always on time. It's always accurate, and no bad decisions being made really. So that would be Mac Jones. Now moving on, I'm gonna get to Trey Lance, and my NFL comp right now for Trey Lance is gonna be, it's really tough. I'm gonna say Josh Allen. Again, Josh Allen's played 3 years. You see some of the inaccuracy in his early years, but you see the development of the player when he's surrounded by good weapons. You watch Josh Allen's development, it's incredible. He goes from being a guy that is doing ridiculous things in the playoffs, like flipping the ball up backwards, falling down, and turning it over, making poor decisions, to like a very quick rebound, to a guy that was in the MVP conversation this past year, played phenomenal football in Buffalo, and was able to take his team, win a playoff game, and get to the AFC Championship. So, you know what? I see Trey Lance as a big arm, strong guy, likes to run a pro-style offense, is comfortable in a play-action system. It keeps his eyes downfield, can run and kill you with his legs if he has to, but really just drives the ball downfield, right? And is good with the deep ball, and someone who is a little bit on the inaccurate side. But you know what? I didn't want to compare him to Patrick Mahomes. I wanted to be a little bit more realistic. There is a little bit of Cam Newton in there, but I'm going to stick to Josh Allen when it comes to Trey Lance. And then last but not least, definitely not least, this ranking is just kind of rough, okay? Zach Wilson's going to be there. And so when I look at Zach Wilson, honestly, I see Aaron Rodgers. I watch him play, and I see a young Aaron Rodgers kind of, bouncing around the pocket, shifty movements, off balance, sidearm, just whipping that ball downfield. Like, he's got an electric arm. The talent's there. Very productive too. Smart decision maker. Didn't turn the ball over a lot in that final year. But again, the competition is low for Lance and for Wilson. The competition that they played, obviously not as difficult, but they both dominated. So that does bode in their favor. I think that it can't be overlooked. The dominance of Lance's year in 2019 and the dominance of Zach Wilson in 2020. I think both those guys are going to go early. I would love to see the 49ers take Lance, but so Zach Wilson's comparison, Aaron Rodgers. So, that does sound a little bit crazy, but that's what I'm sticking to. That's what I see, and when I'm watching them, forgetting about the name on their jersey, and just looking at the way that they play. So, those are my comps. I don't know what your comps are, but I'd love to know what they are. Just always remember to subscribe to the page, sign up for notifications, ask questions. I'd love to answer them. And I'll be back with you guys later on. I'm going to go out and cut the grass and enjoy this nice Saturday. Probably listen to a little bit of NFL radio, hear what else is going on around the league, see if there's any headliners that come out. There was one yesterday with the Chiefs making that big trade with the Ravens to acquire that left tackle. What's his name again? Orlando Brown. That's right. So his dad was a big-time player too. So Orlando Brown to the Chiefs for a haul of picks, but I think Baltimore also sent a couple picks back the Kansas City's way. As you know, the Chiefs did not land Trent Williams because Trent Williams came home where he belongs in the Bay playing for Shanny. And Kansas City had to settle for the 25th ranked left tackle according to PFF, as to the number 1 ranked tackle, Trent Williams, the best at his position. Yeah, so shout out to Trent. Sorry to the Chiefs. I know you won that Super Bowl, but we have a better left tackle than you. All right, well, signing off. Streets of Gold. We'll catch you later.